Fort Georgia was a difficult challenge. The work conditions here were awful. You had no heat, no air, and so really a lot of humidity. The boxes were stacked on top of one another. There were very little shelving, and just altogether a terrible situation for those who were needing to work down here.
Kind of an unusual situation. We're a nonprofit that holds the cities, counties, and school board records. So we contract with those three government entities to hold their valuable records. We also have a historical archives and a historical museum that we operate. This facility is our third storage facility. It was leased to us in 2011. Before that, it had served as a 911 facility, but was built as a bank vault in 1962, shortly after the Cuban Missile Crisis. Served as a fallout shelter. It's completely underground, 36 inches of concrete all the way around us, an additional 24 inches of dirt above that. So it's about the safest place you can get. It's really safe for records in the southeast. Our number one concern with record damage comes from tornadoes and storms. So this is about the best you can do.
We had about 2,700 boxes here, and no physical control of those boxes at all. So we had no idea of what was here and what was where. So you really just mapped it out all in your head and kind of just knew where to go and what to look at.
The spring of last year, we began to create an intergovernmental agreement between those three government entities. So the school board, the city of LaGrange, and the Troup County government all donated funds to renovate this facility, and this is what we have now.
And so once we started working with Patterson Pope, we were excited. Finally, a dream that I've been here for 4 years, and we've just constantly been thinking, we need to do something with the space. Something needs to happen. This is not an ideal space at all. And so once we got with Patterson Pope, we were able to look at the mobile shelving, and we went with mobile instead of static, primarily because of the fact that we wanted to get more in this space. And using Space Saver, we have Space Saver shelving at other locations, and so it was ideal here to go ahead and get the latest Space Saver shelving.
So to sell it to those three government entities who are constantly and understandably watching out for tax dollars, we needed this place to last for as long as possible. When we first began the project, we had about 3,500 boxes, which you'll see on these shelves now, just stacked on each other. There were some old pews down here. We had boxes stacked on the pews, stacked wherever we could really stack them. But we were at capacity with that. The system allows, if our calculations are correct, on the short term, we will be safe for about 30 years. If we are careful with retention policies, we think we'll be good for at least 50 years. So, and that may even be longer. We don't want to over-expect, but with digitization and more digitally born records, we think that may last much longer. So it was an excellent investment for the three governments to put the money into the system.
So one of the biggest things when we were undertaking this project is that we had to keep open access to these records. We have several laws that govern that here in Georgia with the Georgia Open Records Act, and so we need to be able to respond quickly and efficiently to those requests. And of course, we contract with the county, city, and school system, and so those governments still need to be able to function. They still need to be able to get the records that are essential to either judicial proceedings all the way up to county and city business, everyday business. And so one of the biggest concerns that we had was that we would have access to these records during that time. Once our team kind of came in, labeled the boxes according to the departments, Judy Baker and her team came in and flawlessly took them out and put them into temporary storage. And we were able to sleep much better at night. I know I was, and kind of being able to know that Judy Baker and her team had put them in efficiently, nothing got lost. And then once the project was done, once all the install happened, which by the way, Patterson Pope's team, bringing in from the rails coming in to the rubber padding to the mobile shelving coming in, class act, professional, easy to work with, lots of communication from the team. We were under a deadline. We had a lot of funding concerns as far as getting things done in a certain time, and so those were done with no concern about Patterson Pope getting their side of things done. And so when doing that, then once we moved all the boxes back in, Judy Baker and her team brought them in, put them on shelving, really worked with me. I wanted, I think we wanted more space to add on to certain departments, and they were easy to deal with on that. Even in the middle of that process, of that 2-day process, we were still needing to answer requests, and so I just spoke to Judy, and then we found exactly what we needed within minutes. And so it was no problem with her team, and they kept working without really a hiccup at all. You've got to look beyond your current circumstances. You've really got to look to what it can be. You kind of got to look beyond the fact that you might not have physical control, or that the circumstances of a basement or an attic or wherever they are, that uncontrolled room. It can be something like this eventually, and so you've got to look beyond that. Stay encouraged, see the end product.
Patterson Pope may be my favorite vendor ever. That has become a large part of my job, is dealing with various vendors. And Dick Beery, Elizabeth Butler, Patterson Pope, Judy Baker, everybody has been phenomenal. Just complete professionals, going as far beyond anything I could have dreamed.